What is it like living with a house cleaner? This is a question that came in and they said, if you run out of ideas for videos, why don't you do a video on what is it like to live with a house cleaner? And I started laughing because I don't think we've ever done a show on that. And it's a hilarious question. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Today's show is brought to us by funnycleaningshirts.com, where there are all kinds of clocks and coasters and gifts and t-shirts with funny cleaning sayings on them. They make great gifts for the house cleaner in your life. It could be your wife, it could be your husband, it could be your house cleaner, it could be a housekeeper, it could be somebody that works at the hotel, at the Airbnb. It's funnycleaningshirts.com. Check it out. Christmas is coming and it is super awesome to get the right gift for the person in your life that does the right things to make your life better. All right, on to today's show. What is it like to live with a house cleaner? Now, every house cleaner is a little bit different, but I will share with you this. The house cleaners that I know, and there are 6 of them in my family. All 6 of my sisters have had house cleaning businesses at different times, or they've worked in the house cleaning industry. So I've lived with house cleaners, and as a house cleaner, I am a house cleaner, and I've worked really closely with other house cleaners, and I've got a kind of an inside scoop. But I'm going to tell you my personal experience and what it has been like living with me. All right, first, what I've noticed for many of the house cleaners that I work with is the very first thing that pops out is house cleaners are by trade people pleasers. And so if you live with a house cleaner, you're probably a really lucky person. They probably jump through hoops to make your life happy, right? They go through a lot for everyone, including their families. They give a lot to their customers. They give a lot to their families. They jump through all kinds of hoops. The next thing, they're very systematic in what they do. And that the question was, is it a gift or is it a curse? It can be both. Once you have a system in place, you go on autopilot. And like runners being in the zone, sometimes house cleaners clean in the zone. And this happens a lot in their own homes, not so much at customers' homes. Because at customers' homes, you have to be on high alert. You cannot be in the zone. You have to be on high alert. You have to be paying attention of what's going on around you at all times. If a door clicks, oh no, did someone just come in the door? You have to be aware. Also, as you're cleaning, you're very conscientious of time. And so as you're cleaning at a customer's house, you're thinking about how fast can I get this done because I have these other activities that I have to clean and I have to budget my time so I can get everything done in the time that I have. When you are at your own house, it's like erasing that time sensitivity. And so what happens is you might get caught doing the dishes for a while and your mind is just exhausted from the day. And so you might end up washing your own dishes for a really long period of time. And your spouse will walk through and they're like, hey, are you okay? Is everything going on? And you're in your own zone, right? You're still cleaning, but you're in your own zone. Now, because of the systems, we clean things sometimes without paying attention because we are in the zone, especially if you are the business owner. Now, I know for me, this has happened on numerous occasions. My husband makes fun of me, but my mind is racing and I'm thinking about the day. I'm thinking about employees. I'm thinking about clients. I'm trying to figure out in my head what happens next. How do I do this? How do I do that? And then mysterious things happen, right? The other day I was making a sandwich. My knife disappeared, and it is a long, sharp, serrated knife. What on earth happened to my knife? Now, no one else is in the kitchen. I'm the only one there. The knife disappears. I'm probably guilty. So I start looking around. I'm like, hey, what happened to my knife? And I went and I opened the drawer where the knives go. And between a minute ago when I cut something up, tomatoes or something, I had washed the knife and dried it and put it away. Done. Now, if you walk through the kitchen, it looks amazing. But I was in the middle of cooking a meal, right? That happens all the time. We do things without even knowing it. And so you might put milk on someone's cereal. And then before the next person gets the milk, you've already put on the lid and you've put it back in the fridge. It's put away. It looks nice. It's lovely. And the other person is like, what about me? Don't I get any milk on my cereal? You're like, whoa, did I already put it away? So that happens sometimes too, right? We're in the zone and we're not paying attention in our own home because when we're at a customer's home, we are on. And that's 100% attention. It's front and center. Boom, right? You get home and kind of like everything just kind of like takes a break. All right, so the other thing is from sunup until sundown, you are on the go. You are on. So from the time you get up in the morning, and I know this is true for me, health has always been my first priority because if I'm not healthy myself, I cannot be healthy for my customers for my family, for my employees, any of those things. So the first hour of the day is my own. And even though we burn a lot of calories while we're working as house cleaners, we don't necessarily get the strength training that we need. So it's still important to go running. It's still important to lift weights. It's still important to have that meditative time where you can work out and build your body and your mind and your spirit and all of those things. So that's first and foremost. Then there comes this window in the morning where the husband is probably still sleeping, but you have an early client you got to bounce out for. And I know this has been true for many, many years. My husband is sleeping and I'm in running the shower and I'm putting on my uniform, putting on my hair. I'm either packing my cleaning caddy if I didn't do it the night before. There's a lot of noise and chaos that goes on in the morning that he has had to learn to sleep through. So that part is probably a curse for him. Then immediately there's packing lunches for both of us, right? So if there are kids in the house, you're packing lunches for school. If it's your husband, you're packing lunches for him. If it's you yourself that's on the go, you're packing lunches for yourself. So every single day for the last 30 years, there has been me packing lunches for somebody, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the reason I say dinner is because oftentimes we don't get home till after 6 o'clock at night. And we should not be eating late into the evening. But if everybody has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, my husband has always worked late. He works in the car business. And so he has always worked late, meaning he gets home at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And if that's true, we want him to eat before he gets home. So packing breakfast, lunch, and dinner is a part of every single morning. It's the reason we use the little tiny meals so that everyone can pack their own lunches, but everyone can eat throughout the day and still have nourishment. And so at the beginning of the day, that's always a part of every day. Then there's always a part of cleanup from getting everybody's lunches packed. In the Airbnb industry, we call it turnover service. And in my house, having employees always coming and going from my house, I've always maintained that turnover in the morning. So a part of every morning for me, even to this day, because I still have employees that come to the house now, even though we're only training right now, we're not actually actively cleaning every day. But even to this day, a part of every morning is sanitizing the bathrooms and wiping everything down and wiping down the faucets and wiping down the toilet and doing the toilet paper roll and wiping around the toilet and sanitizing in case other people use that toilet. It's wiping down the kitchen area and getting rid of all the crumbs. We don't want mice, we don't want ants in the house, just like you wouldn't at an Airbnb. So we want to make sure that everything is tidy. In my house, we have a coffee bar as well. That coffee bar has to be restocked every single morning. And so filled with water, the Keurig machine, we got to restock the hot chocolates, we restock the coffee, we restock the teas, we make sure that there are marshmallows for the hot chocolate. We have sugar sweeteners and coffee creamers and all that stuff. And so that has to be restocked every single day. We also have bottled water for the employees. The refrigerator has to be restocked every day. So after we pack the lunches, everything is wiped down, everything is sanitized. And then in our house now, we have a media lab. And the media lab has computers in it in case one of the employees drops by to check their email, or they want to check their schedule, or if their computer went out, or if they didn't have a computer, or whatever. We have a media lab. All those computers have to be wiped down and sanitized every day. The tables that they sit on have to be wiped down and sanitized. The floor underneath there, wiped down and sanitized because they probably ate something and dropped some crumbs, right? So they're welcome to come eat their breakfast, have a cup of coffee, check their email, all that stuff. But that area has to completely be sanitized. Front door, inside and outdoor has to be sanitized. The door where you push on the door, all sanitized, right? Every single day. And this is true even as a house cleaning company. If you have people coming to pick up supplies, the same rules apply. So living with a house cleaner is not just, I'm going to roll out of bed and throw on my hair in a bandana and run out and go clean houses. There is a process. There is a system. When you get home at night, you are exhausted. And so from about 6 o'clock in the evening on, it's kind of like living with a mummy or a zombie, where they've been cleaning all day, they've been on all day, they've been going all day, and then they get home and it's kind of like just taking off that mask. It's like, whew, I'm at home now. They're going to get really ugly. House cleaners get really, really ugly after about 6 o'clock at night. The makeup comes off, the hair, it's already in a bun, but it's all wispy and it's like, and so a bandana or a ribbon or something goes around the hair just to keep it out of the face. Like I said, there's no makeup, ugly t-shirt, leggings, maybe barefoot, maybe flip-flops. It's not going to be cute at all. And don't worry, because you know what? They gave it all day. They look professional all day. Now that they're at the house, don't care what we look like. And then don't care what we eat. Like if you had lunch or dinner, great. But now whatever is in the fridge, whatever's on menu, whatever. And then we don't care. So it could be soup and crackers, it could be soup and a sandwich, it could be a sandwich and a salad. The dinner doesn't have to match. It can be 5 different kinds of squash. It doesn't matter. And then we might just bury ourselves in front of the TV and kind of annihilate the rest of the evening and just chill. Now for me, living with a house cleaner last night, this happened this very last night, my husband invited me to dinner and a movie. And I said, yes, it's date night, let's do this. So he went down to get the dinner and I sat down at the couch with my laptop on my lap. And the next thing I know, it was time to go to bed. I had fallen asleep with my laptop on, and he brought the dinner upstairs. And then he saw that I was asleep, didn't want to wake me, didn't want the food to go to waste, so he ate his dinner, and then he ate mine. So that is typical in a household where there's a house cleaner, right? It is typical because at the end of the day, there's nothing left to give. There's just nothing left. So living with a house cleaner, it's a blessing and a curse, but it's something that you get used to. It's something that you learn to live with. And if you have a house cleaner that you're married to, my suggestion is that you be kind and you be patient, because this is a person that is literally out changing the world for other people all day, every day. And then when they come home, there's only so much left to give. They're going to give you as much as they possibly have to give. And then they're just going to crash and fall asleep. Anyway, that's the life of a house cleaner. I've lived the life for 3 decades. And it's one of the funnest careers that I've ever hoped to have. It's been enlightening, it's been invigorating, it's been a blessing where you get to see progress every single day. You get to meet some fantastic people. You get challenges that you did not ever expect to have to live through, and yet you survive, and it makes you a better person as a result of it. Anyway, so it's fun. It's a lot of fun to live in a home with a house cleaner. All right, leave your comments below. What is your day like, and are you married to a house cleaner? I want to hear your stories below. All right, until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.